So once we grab the email address, we're going to run them through the Groundhog funnel system. But in order to get them into the funnel system, this is the process for doing that. Please look at this carefully because people are going to miss, and Patricia says the minutia of styling said so well. I'm actually going to focus on the minutia of this particular system right now because I think people miss how this works. And I've had a lot of questions in the Groundhog user group about this. So what you do is you go to the form itself, and in the content area of the form, there's a couple of things you need to do. There's actions after submit. And what we're going to do is we're going to select Groundhog. Okay? So that means that when people fill out this form, we want this Groundhog action to take place. As soon as you select that, Groundhog will be in here, and we're going to apply a tag. Now that tag hasn't been created yet, so it won't appear here in this list. So this is a list of the tags that are available, and you can search them, but because that tag is not already there, we can't apply that yet. But we will. So I want you to keep that in mind. So actions after submit, do the Groundhog action. Again, if I take that out of there, it's in the drop-down list if you have the Groundhog extension installed. And then you're going to apply a tag, which we haven't created yet, but we will. And then there's step settings. Ignore that. Don't really need that. But what you want to do is on custom messages, instead of saying this form was sent successfully, tell them what's about to happen next. So success, your download is on the way. Please check your email to confirm. Okay? So that when people fill out the form, right beneath it, as they click free instant access, that form will pop up with a little check mark. It's just a little message saying, hey, success. If it doesn't work, by the way, you'll get an error message, like an error occurred or this field is required. So if people didn't fill out the first two fields, obviously they need to do that in order for it to work. So let's go ahead and publish this page now. And one of the things that I'm not going to do today is I'm not going to go through the whole process of creating a mobile version of this page, but I think most people would know that if you've got images like this big one at the top, that might not look so great on mobile. So you might have to create a 360 by 600 image for mobile that would replace it. And then all you need to do is turn which areas on for what we call responsive mode. So I can say hide this on desktop or hide it on tablet or hide it on mobile and show this other one instead. So that's kind of how that works. So what I would do is I would just duplicate the section, change the image, the background image to like a 360 by 600 for mobile. And then in this area, I'm just going to say hide on desktop and tablet. And that means it'll only show for mobile. So if you actually look at the mobile view, that's the one that will show. But I'm not going to go through the creation of that image. I think everybody gets that. You can, by the way, change responsive items, not just for containers, but you can do them for actual elements, and you can also do them for columns as well. So if you go edit column, you can see there's responsive for that column if you want to show or hide specific columns based on responsiveness. That's a pretty cool trick, I think, for those of you that are designers. You kind of get that one. But I think in this particular case, using Elementor, pretty much everyone on this call could do this. If you just sort of go back through the video when I send it to you for review, just go back through it and go step by step and you'll kind of get it. You may have to have a little playing around here and there, but eventually you'll become as adept to it as I am. I'm not really a designer, but I get by, and I use good software to help me do that, and I think Elementor is great software. So let's just go and update this page. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop into the back end of WordPress, and we're going to create that tag that we needed for the form. And this is where it really starts to get fun, is when you start to talk about the form builder. So not the form builder, the Groundhog funnel builder. So under Groundhog, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the tags area. And we're going to create a tag name to start that funnel. And I have lots of videos in the Groundhog documentation area and on YouTube that talk about how to create tags and name tags. But basically there's 5 different types of marketing funnels, like marketing, sales, fulfillment, HR, finance. And then there's 5 different types of tags: system, status, profile, history, marketing, and to-dos. I'm not going to go through that. If you want to look up that system, just look for how to name tags in Groundhog in YouTube, and you'll find videos by myself on how to go about that. But basically it's a start tag, meaning, hey, start this funnel when somebody gets this tag. And then the type of the campaign is a marketing campaign because we haven't made a sale yet. And then we're going to call it Free Carol Bells Sheet Music. Actually, let's shorten it up here. Free Carol Bells Music. And then, system tag, my apologies, system, and then the actual tag name is start. Just like that. So we're going to add that tag. And as you add it, it shows up in the tags area of the right-hand side. So now that that tag is there, we can go back into Elementor, go back to the form, go to Groundhog, apply that tag. I might have to refresh the page, which I will do now. So again, go to the form, Groundhog, apply tags, and we can search for that tag just by start, and there it is. System 10.marketing, Free Carol of the Bells, music, start. Update, and that page is done. If you want to preview it, there's a little preview button down on the bottom left. And this is what the page will actually look like. Now you'll notice that the countdown timer is down to 9 minutes, so it's taken us about 20 minutes to create this page. I suspect your first time out it might take a little bit longer, but usually for me, from start to finish, I'm looking at a half an hour to 45 minutes per landing page. I don't want to spend a ton of time on it, but basically that's my strategy. Okay. So now that the tag is going to be added by the form, and we'll eventually end up testing this thing, now we need to build a funnel to do follow-up. And this is how we're going to do that. So down on the funnel builder area, we're going to add a new funnel. So for those of you that are not familiar with Groundhog, it's like any other CRM or automated CRM like MailChimp, Infusionsoft, ActiveCampaign, ClickFunnels, and a billion others. Groundhog just happens to be the first one ever built for WordPress, and that's why this tutorial is specifically about never leaving WordPress, which we haven't done so far other than to make some photography. And we're going to start from scratch by adding a new funnel, and we're going to click Start Building from Scratch. It's going to have a couple of things in there like, hey, a new user has been created, apply this tag. We don't need either of those, but before we delete them, let's go and add the one we actually want. And this is a benchmark. So that means when somebody gets this tag, this goal is achieved. So it's called the tag applied goal. And we're going to put that up to the top just by dragging it up there. And obviously the tag we want is, you guessed it, 10.marketing, Free Carol of the Bells music, start. So what does that mean? It means when somebody fills out this form, that form will add that tag, that goal is achieved, and a contact record is created in Groundhog, and now you can go ahead and do whatever you want. But we're not going to do whatever we want. We're going to do what experience tells us to do, and that is send people what they asked for. So let's delete that step, and let's add an email It's under Actions. We're going to send them an email. Once the email is in there, you can go create new email, and you can create that email based on emails you've created before, or you can go from scratch. So in this particular case, let's just grab this one, which has a nice title on it. Maybe it's a little too big, so we're going to go with that image, but make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so this is your email from Jazzmental. And in the subject line, please confirm your email to get your download. We want to make sure that people understand that if they're looking out for it, that they see right away that when they get it, it stands out for them. So your sheet music awaits in the pre-header. And then what we're going to do is we are going to edit this a little bit, and we're just going to say thanks. So hi, and by the way, this code for first, this takes their first name from the form and sticks it right in there. It's called a replacement code. If you want to add other replacements, in the top right, there's a thing called replacements. You can see all of the replacement codes that are available, plus any custom replacements. So you can use endless amounts of meta and replacement codes for different things that you want to collect. So, hi first. Thanks so much. Okay, so we want to make sure that they understand the rules of the game. We don't want to be spending money and doing marketing for a bunch of fake email addresses. And we also want to keep our sender reputation high. So in this particular case, I'm using Mailhawk as my sending service, which is connected to Groundhog, and my sender reputation I want to keep good. So I want to confirm as many email addresses as possible. So all you have to do, and that was already in there, is go to replacements, scroll down, find confirmation link, and insert. And it'll basically put a link in there that they click. As soon as they click that, it's now CASL compliant, GDPR compliant, and considered a double opt-in. And then thanks. So just a little bit of styling here. If I change this to say 16 for the paragraph size, that's a pretty good email. The only other thing that we need to know is we cannot send from anything other than the domain, so we're going to send it from info@jazzmental.com. Any of these other email addresses you shouldn't be using. Always send emails from the domain. We can rename our email. So this is 10.marketing, Carol, bells, music, confirm, email number 1. And those error messages down here will disappear once we do that, because we're sending it from the proper email address, and now we have no error messages. It's a great intuitive little email builder to let you know that things are not correct and you should fix them before saving and sending out this email. So what we're going to do now is just save that email. By the way, anyone that notices any typos as I'm doing this, please let me know, because this is an actual real campaign that I'm building. and I don't want to have to go back and proofread everything. So if you find I've made a mistake, please let me know. So if you click on the send email now, you can see that that's the email name, 10.marketing, Carol LaBelle's Music, confirm email. Now there's a typo in confirm, but the customer doesn't see that, so we don't need to change that. But you can select any emails that are ready to go. In this particular case, it's the one that we just created. So we're going to send that email, and then what we're going to do is we're going to wait an hour or maybe two by throwing in a an action called the delay timer. And this is basically to say, hey, if you didn't confirm your email address, let's give them an hour and send the next email immediately. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a duplicate of the first one, pull it down there, and now we're going to create new, and we're going to edit the first one just ever so slightly. I sent an email for you to confirm your email address before we send you we can't send it until you confirm. Okay, I'm just going to read that over. I sent an email for you to confirm your email address before we send your free sheet music and instructional video for Carol of the Bells. We can't send it until you confirm your email. Please do that now. Thanks. From info, set to ready, save. Actually, let's rename it because we want to make sure that it's a new email name. So instead of copy, it's email number 2. Save. So Sarah says it was the full name. I think this is your question, Sarah. Because it says full name here, Groundhog actually separates the two. So it will actually take out the first name and put it in the first name field. So I don't want to say hi, first name, last name. I do want their first name and last name, though, in the form for later on. So I hope that makes sense to you. It will actually separate out and create a first name field. So I hope that helps. And you can actually rename them here as well. So the first one we're going to say, confirm email number 1, and then here, confirm email number 2. Delay timer, you can actually say wait an hour, right? So just kind of keep things straight in the funnel. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a step that says, did they actually confirm their email address by clicking the link? So that means email confirmed. You got it. Pull it down into the right place. So what happens here is, let me explain. So that goal is achieved by the web form in Elementor. Right? Remember the web form in Elementor added the tag? That goal is achieved. So this email will then automatically go out to whoever filled out that form. Okay? Immediately. Immediate. Okay? Then it's going to wait an hour, and if they did not click that link, right? Remember there was a confirmation link in that email? If they didn't click it, this goal down here will not be achieved. So it'll wait an hour and it'll do it again. But if they did click the link, then this goal is achieved. Yay. That's what we want. We want to send out a couple of responses to get them to actually confirm their email address. Now you could do this one more time if you wanted to. Just go here, add another delay timer. And this time we're going to wait a day. We're going to wait a whole day, and we're going to send it out the next day. And instead of immediate, we're going to put it out at a time of day. We're going to call it 9 a.m. And then we're going to send confirmation number 3 down here. And you could use the same email as you used for 2 because it said, hey, didn't relate to any specific time. It didn't say, hey, we sent you an email an hour ago and you didn't confirm. Okay, I hope that all makes sense. And then what we want to do is we want to send them their sheet music as soon as they confirm. Now, if they don't confirm, they're not going to get it. I don't think you should be rewarding people for not confirming their email address, for not giving you a correct email address. So you're not going to make any money in your business if you continue to reward people for bad behavior. So in this particular case, the email is confirmed, and now we're going to add a step to send an email, and we're actually going to go and send them their download. And this is where it gets really interesting. Let's grab a template here. Congrats. Here's your sheet music and your bonus instructional video. So the first thing you want to do is, from a hypnotic standpoint, I always like to say thank you for good behavior. A comment from Sarah about preferring first and last name separate. I understand what you're saying, and that makes total sense. It's a matter of personal preference. So I do think that sometimes people use more than 2 words, and it does get a little confused. In this particular case, though, we'll leave it as first name for now, but I appreciate the comment. Thank you so much. Let's go and write a response rewarding them for good behavior. So first off, thanks so much I think that's pretty good. You don't need to be, a lot of people with their response emails like write whole paragraphs and they get really wordy. You know, people ask for their sheet music, just give it to them. Yeah, I don't think it requires a lot of extra thought. Just be specific, be thankful, be grateful that they did it. Thank you for the typo. And who was that? Jim, thanks so much. I appreciate that. I got you all looking over my shoulder. It's nice to have. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, instead of just throwing in links, because you can do that, by the way, you can actually just put links in here. And you could say, hey, download your sheet music, or let's give it a name, Carol of the Bells sheet music. And you could put a link right on that to download it. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to find it in the WordPress media area, the link that we need. And I think that's pretty common sense. And what you could do is you could just put that link right here, right? You could, HTTPS, jazzmental.com, name of PDF, and wherever it sits kind of thing. And you can do that. But what I like to do is I like to keep track. Because if you just put the link in, there's kind of no goal achieved that you can track. I want to know, I want to be able to look in my system and find out how many people actually did that, and I want to know that immediately. I don't want to have to look at the reports. I don't want to have to look at a bunch of things and try to figure it out. I want to know immediately. So what we're going to do to that, those specific links, is we're going to put on what we call super links. And I love this part about Groundhog. What a great product to think of this. So let's just do the second link first. Download your bonus instructional video. Okay. So we have two links that we need to create, and we know that. Let's go ahead and save the email now. And we could actually leave this open and just go back into the dashboard area. And we're going to go to Groundhog Superlinks. And we're going to give it a name. Download dead. So we're keeping track. People who download it, excuse me, take a quick drink of water, thank you. And the target URL is the actual link that we need from the media area. So let's go and open up the media area. And let's go PDF. And I don't actually have the one uploaded for the sheet music yet. I could go and get it, but I really don't want to take up a ton of your time with this. So let me just grab any PDF for now. And then once you click on that PDF, you're going to copy the URL here. And then you're going to go back to Superlinks and paste in that target URL. Again, that was a little quick, but the point is that you need to send them an actual download. In this particular case, it's a PDF that was uploaded to the media area. I just don't happen to have the Carol of the Bells sheet music available. I should have thought about that before I started this thing, but maybe I can find it. Carol of the Bells. Oh, I do have it. Look at that. No, it's a JPEG. That won't work. Oh, wait. I do have it. There you go. Boom. Excellent. So there's my PDF that I created. Let's just open it up and make sure it's the right one. Yes, there it is. Arranged by Paul Toby. Perfect. I think all of you understand this sheet music. Yes, absolutely. You can all read sheet music. Beautiful. This little part at the end, by the way, this little triplet thing at the end, very cool. People are going to love to learn that. Okay, so I'm really hyped about this. And I've got my sheet music, and all I need to do now is to upload that into the media area just by clicking on it and dragging it into the media area. Let me show you how that works. Click, drag, and there it is. Click on Carol of the Bells, copy that URL instead of the fake one that we had before, and throw that into that area. Now, what we want to do is we want to add a tag when that is done. And that's what I love about Superlinks, keeping track, right? So we're gonna make this a history tag. Again, if you don't know about tag naming, go look up Groundhog tag naming conventions in YouTube, and you'll get lots of videos there that I've created about how to do this. History, and we're gonna go downloaded Carol of the Bells sheet music. Add new superlink. Very cool. And then all we need is this little replacement code here. If you click on superlink here and copy that, that's all we need. And so we'll go back to the email that we're creating, and where it says download Carol of the Bells right here, hover over that link. Let's break that one. Let's highlight it, and let's add the link, and then just paste in the super link. Boom, just like that. How cool is that? So now every time someone clicks that link, they're going to get their download immediately, and that person gets a tag called history downloaded Carol of the Bells sheet music, and all we need to do then is go into the tags area, and we can see count is currently 0. As people continue to use that or click that link, that count will go up, and you can click on that and you can see all of the people that have actually done that. How cool is that? And then you could send all those people an email like 3 weeks from now, say, hey, how's your sheet music going? Are you enjoying it? Or you can launch other funnels. That's the whole point of the client value optimizer system, is to continue to follow up, and keep track of what people actually do. How cool. So then the second one, download your bonus instructional video. I haven't actually made that yet, so I'm about to make that probably this weekend. I just haven't gotten around to it. It will take about half an hour to walk through it and film it. And then I will create an MP4 out of that, perhaps post it into Vimeo or YouTube, and then give them a link to that so they can access that. And you can do the same thing there. You can create a super link on the second link as well. And then all you need to do down here is thanks again. Please enjoy your music this Christmas. Okay, let's go and change this. Change the name of the email. Send. And we're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to keep track of whether they actually did it or not. So let's throw in a delay timer of a day. At 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to do it again. Whoops, got these out of order now. So send email, send Carol of the Bells email, then delay timer. I got a question from Andrew, says, can you use superlinks anywhere? No, you can use them on your website and in your emails, and that's it. They will not work outside of your website or your emails. So there's our delay timer, and let's make a copy of this. Throw that down there, and let's give it to them one more time. I or we sent you now. It might be a little pushy in the first day to say, hey, go and do that before we take the links down. But I've found that people can take forever to do it. And you want to make sure that they're getting value. So having them subscribe, having them confirm, having them receive their download links is not enough. They actually have to download that product for them to get value. And the only way they're ever going to buy anything else from you is if they get some value from this. So you want to make sure that you're a little bit pushy, but making sure that you're letting them know, hey, we're not going to leave this free thing around forever. Please download them before we take the links down. So there's a question, I think it's from Andrew. It says, is there a way to figure out if they received the email? The answer is in the reports, you can have open rates in the reports, and you can actually send emails to people that didn't open the email. It's not 100% accurate, though. It's based on the email system that they have, whether they clicked the button to show images, that kind of thing. So yes, you can tell in the reports for the funnel whether they actually opened the email or not. So let's send email number 2. I sent you the download links to your sheet music. Please go ahead and do that now before we take the links down. Thanks again. Please enjoy your sheet music. And of course, we don't want to send that if they already did it. So we sent the first email. And there's a delay timer of a day, but if they did it on the first email, how do we tell if they did it or not? We're going to add a step called benchmark, tag applied goal at the bottom. And of course, the tag was added by the super link called history downloaded Carol of the Bell sheet music. Do you remember that? When they clicked the link, they got that tag added, the history tag. And so the tag applied goal goes down there at the bottom. So if they actually did it on the first email, they won't receive the second email.